Welcome, everyone, to Jaden's Jam. I'm your host, Jaden Goss. And today we're talking about She Hulk episode 7. No title out, so it's episode 7. I actually really enjoyed this one and I found it funny. I liked that we actually got some main plot pushing forward. I enjoyed all of the. One thing I will say about this show is it's been cool seeing like D list characters getting on, like getting a live action adaptation or whatever you want to say. Like, we got what Mad Bull. Like, I will say, and can I just say, I know people don't like this new Abomination, like Emil Blonsky's new like personality and like how he's acting. I love it. You know, Something that we don't get a ton of with villains, especially in this MCU. We've got a couple few who get like, good character development, but most of them are just one note villains. So it's nice to see, it really does seem like Blonsky has reformed, and I like this meditative teacher persona that he's doing. Like, and the whole time, because, there's always a twist in superhero stuff, the whole time I was like, okay, are they trying to get her to power down and then they're all going to attack her and we'll finally get a big reveal or something? But no, that didn't happen. And the main reason I was thinking that was because of the Wrecker or whatever. Can't remember his name. The one with the crowbar from the Wrecking Crew. He was there again, so I was like, okay, is this like a whole setup? But it wasn't. Didn't see it. It ended up not being one. But I liked it because we actually got a really good, touching scene where She Hulk just kind of like breaks down and is like, I wish people liked me for me and not just me being She Hulk. And that applies to her dating life, it applies to her friends and what seems like family. Like, seems like so many of the people around her, like in her sphere, only care about the She Hulk part of her. And I think that's one of the things they have done a good job. I think they've gone a little overboard, like in the wedding episode where making like everyone seem like they just hate her and it's not even funny. It just comes off like it's kind of like bullying, at least for me. But this episode was a nice change of pace. I I really did find it funny. I like seeing all these D-list characters get a chance to be on a MCU show because this would be really their only chance to appear. I don't think you're going to see the Mad Bull anywhere else or whatever the fuck his name is. That was a great scene, by the way, where he's beefing with what's his name? Oh God, I can't remember his name now. But the guy who was like found the matador stuff offensive. Like he's not a matador, even though like he kind of dresses like one, and he even fights with a dude who's a bull. I don't know. It's I like that whole that those jokes really worked for me, and like the porcupine dude was funny. When he finally took off his mask and he smells really bad, and everybody's like, no, 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 you need to put that back on. But man, who carried the person who carried this episode besides Tatiana was Tim Roth. I mean, he is just fantastic as Abomination, and I just love seeing this new side of this. Who was once just a one-note bad guy, who is now reformed, seemingly. Still don't know if I totally believe it, but who is reformed and is this meditative teacher almost, like this therapist. And you know what? I really like it. It's a nice change of pace. Um, it was funny. It was nice to be more focused on She Hulk and not have like a B plot happening at the same time. I really enjoyed that. The, the vampire dude was funny. No, nobody believes he's a vampire, and the whole time I was looking for vampire teeth and I didn't see any. So if anybody spotted those, that'd be cool if they could point that out. So yeah, overall, I actually enjoyed this episode. Had no real issues with it. At this point, I've reserved to just I'm waiting, to see what else happens. I like the development that I didn't think I would like the development, but I ended up liking the way they did it with Josh turning out to be a bad guy. I talked about there's a possibility that he's going to be a bad guy last in the last review. Turns out he was. I think I like the ending because again, it's pushing that through line. The somebody, I think it's the leader, but somebody is trying to get She-Hulk's blood for some reason. Somebody's wanting to study her at least, and I really think it's the leader. I really think he's behind it all. And one of the things that I really felt for She-Hulk, and I think we can all relate to being ghosted, and I think they executed it really well. You text a person for days, maybe you'll go on a few dates, and you'll be really into them, and maybe you, I love it by the way when she's like, the last thing I texted was blah blah blah, and then she's like, oh wait, I did text. And then everybody's like, oh god, you pushed too far, you ruined it. It's just funny, like it really did a good job of like feeling relatable this week. Like I think anybody can relate to being ghosted, and it led to just a great emotional moment with her changing back into Jen, and just wanting people to want her for Jen and not She-Hulk. And that is the one thing I will say they've done a great job since the beginning of this show, is showing that Jen wants to be known more for Jen Walters than She-Hulk, and she's having this struggle with this persona. And this episode really just pulled that off well. And honestly, it's one of the best episodes of the show so far. And I'm really glad that I didn't, give up on it because of last week. And it was genuinely funny. I love the retreat and seeing all of the D-list bad guys meeting to discuss like it. It felt more real this week than it has in previous weeks where it's felt too fake. I don't even know how to put it. Like there was some reality to this one that and some relatability where I was like, okay, I like this episode. This was a good episode, and everybody's saying He Who Shall Not Be Named appears in episode 8, which is next week, so I'm looking forward to that one. I am not one of those people who has just been waiting for Daredevil, okay? But I have been excited for it, and I wish they would have tried to keep it a secret, honestly. I wish they wouldn't have revealed Daredevil in the marketing. That's my only complaint. Because then it would have been a really cool surprise. We would have seen the helmet, and then been like, oh, cool. So that just, and then we would have been like, okay, so Daredevil exists in this universe, and we might have not even expected to see him again, like to actually see him in this show. So yeah, I think it would have been better for the marketing's sake not to reveal him. And yeah, and then there's just a bunch of misogyny against this show that I'm not even going to get into, which is stupid. So I actually really like this episode and can't wait for next week. And yeah, it was a good episode. I don't know what else to say. Like this video, comment please. Let me know what you thought of this episode. Just be nice if you hate it. Share this video if you like this video, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's still slowly growing. I'm working on an Andor review. I'm still working on a House of the Dragon review. And what else do we have? Oh, Rings of Power, but that's not out yet. So we got a few more reviews coming out this week. I'm sorry I'm late on a few of them. It's been a hectic week. It's been a hectic beginning to my week. So I'll get those out. They'll be a little late. I apologize for that, but that's just how it works. This was just an easy review that I could do super quick because not a lot happened, really. But yeah, so thanks, guys.